just start the meeting. Okay, too many windows open. Find agenda. I will call this first meeting of 2023 to order. Can we do roll call, please?
Yes. Chairperson Mizzy. Oh, Chairperson Mizzy. Yes. Here.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I think we've lost. Or
Can you hear me?
Oh, I think they're having internet troubles.
yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my video off so that we can have better internet. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay, Chairperson Mizzy.
Present.
Thank you. Vice Chair Hua.
Present.
Thank you. Secretary Jimenez.
Here.
Thank you. Chairperson Adriano.
Here.
Commissioner Adriano, yes. Commissioner Cyrus. Commissioner Ho.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Mariano. Commissioner Giancarlo Ray.
Here.
Commissioner Quinteros. Commissioner Vitas. Commissioner Sui.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Yoshida.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Acivas.
Here.
Thank you. And Commissioner Leong.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Agenda review. Does anyone have any additions or questions? Or I don't know why this is on the. I'm gonna assume no one has anything. Approval of the meeting minutes for the November 7th meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion.
The motion from Commissioner Adriano. Is there a second?
I second.
And a second from Commissioner Leong. Can we have roll call to approve the minutes?
Yes. Chairperson Mizzy.
Aye.
Vice Chair Hua.
Aye.
Secretary Jimenez.
Aye.
Commissioner Adriano.
Aye.
Commissioner Ho.
Aye.
Commissioner Giancarlo Ray.
Aye.
Commissioner Sui.
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshida.
Aye.
Commissioner Miller.
Aye.
Commissioner Acivas.
Aye.
And Commissioner Leong.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Agenda item 5, public comment. Are there any members of the public who wish to comment? I think the only non-commissioner, non-staff people are our guests. So I'm assuming there's no public comment. So I'm closing the public comment period. And now we will move on to agenda item 6, which is the presentation from the South San Francisco Education Foundation. So I give the floor to these cool people.
Thank you, Ethan, and hello, everyone. I'm Kayla. The rest of our team is also here, Barbie, Warren, and Christy. For those of you who are on the commission last year, we checked in with you all back in June when we were really just starting our foundation, and we gathered a lot of ideas from you all on ways to improve the school district, ways to improve education, and we just wanted to check back in now that we've gathered a lot of different ideas from a lot of different people and are starting to narrow down on what we might focus on first. So yeah, you all received our slides in advance. Is that correct? I see Ethan's nodding. Okay. I will briefly walk through some of them, just in case you didn't have a chance to fully read through in advance. But for the most part, we want to just have an open discussion with you all, similar to what we did last time. Reminder of our values, you can read these in your own time. It's a list of folks that we've been talking to. We are still gathering more feedback. I do want to pause on this slide that just overviews what our process is. And we are in step 2 there in blue, which is synthesizing all the themes that we've heard and starting to narrow down ideas for us to focus on. But there's a lot of steps ahead of this before we actually fund a program and implement it. We need to, evaluate all the ideas with the district, make sure educators are on board and can implement, plan out those pilot programs. We need to fundraise, and then we can start implementing. And even then, we imagine it will be a smaller pilot at first before going really large scale. How we narrowed down to this list of ideas for our first initiative is we really prioritize ideas that students or alumni had elevated, ideas that multiple community members had elevated, ideas that are really strongly focused on equity, as you all know. And we also prioritized directly supporting student outcomes for now, which means indirect ideas like supporting teachers, who then support students. We haven't prioritized this time, mostly just because those types of ideas have a longer timeline to implement. But that's not to say that we won't include those eventually as well. And then a couple caveats, a couple notes. So in our discussion today, you all did a fabulous job of this last time we talked to you, but just a reminder to kind of wear 2 different hats. One is based on your beliefs, based on your personal experiences with school, and the other is just stepping back and thinking what might benefit underserved students in the district overall, including all grades, all backgrounds, etc., with the focus on equity. But you all are older now, but our foundation, we're also focused on younger students, for example, and so just kind of wearing multiple hats in the discussion. We will have limited resources. These program ideas are things that we imagine putting funding behind. But even for ideas where we might not have funding to work on them, we will leverage, partnerships, working with the district to identify new funding sources and just elevating needs to education decision makers. So there's different levers we can pull down the line. And then the ideas may change, and that's not because we don't have a strong sense of what we are about and what we're doing, but because we're really open to feedback. And if things aren't working, then we'll kind of change them down the line. With that, these are our discussion questions for today. We just want to hear from you. We'll show you the list of ideas in a moment. Which do you think are the most important? We know they're all important, but which do you think are the most important? Are there any that you don't think should be prioritized first? And are there any missing that you think are more important than the ideas on the page? And we will paste these discussion questions in the chat as well. But first, I will overview the ideas. So we have some that are across all grades. They were elevated as important: mental health, language justice, so supporting English learners, restorative justice, navigating school systems, so just kind of learning how the school district works. And then in the elementary school level, really focusing on the academics, providing literacy and math support. The middle school level, kind of looking at the extended school day, providing additional academic support and tutoring, homework assistance, computer access, things of that nature, and after school enrichment as well. And then at the high school level, looking at college and career pathways, inclusive curriculum, and also practical knowledge on, just how to navigate the real world. I'll pause here for a few seconds just to give you all a chance to read through it. And then we'll come back in maybe 30 seconds and we'll start discussing.
I had a clarifying question.
Yes.
It says navigating school systems. What exactly does that mean?
Good question. So what we were hearing from people is that they just didn't know how like the school district worked. Like, how do you actually get connected to a certain resource? How do you get into a certain class? How do you apply for like resources? How do you access the mental health? Just like understanding how the school system actually works. So maybe what that could look like is an education series or just like group discussions or something. We haven't gotten too far along on what exactly that would look like, but that was the theme of just like not really knowing how to navigate the school. Is that
Especially
answer your
for
question?
immigrant parents or parents of families who don't speak English or who are new to just school systems in general. How does everything work? How do I get my questions answered?
Okay. With that, one of my teammates could paste those questions in the chat if you haven't already. I have like so many screens open, I can't even see what's in the chat. But we'll just open it up for discussion, like starting with what you all think are the top like 2 or 3 most important ideas to start with. First, would love to hear your thoughts.
Um, Something that like I really thought was important was like in the high school category, the practical knowledge one. I feel like I don't know, like I talked to a lot of people in high school and like a main like thing that they all experience is like they feel like not ready to experience college and like they're always like struggling with like how to do things and like I feel like having more emphasis on practical knowledge will make like students feel more confident and feel more secure in like going out into like the real world and like going to college and stuff. So I feel like that's really important.
Thanks, Jasmine.
I see Megan's hands up.
Oh, Megan, yes.
Yeah, hi. I agree with Jasmine. I was going to say exactly what they said. I think that the practical knowledge is very, very important. It's something that I feel like we don't really get taught. We get taught like history, math, science, but nothing really to do like with how we navigate like adult life. And I also think that the college and career pathways is I like that like idea as something that can be done like not easily, but maybe a little simpler to implement because I'm a senior, I was doing all my college apps and stuff, and it's kind of hard to figure out how you do everything, and just having a person who can help or like a way you can seek help besides just one counselor who has a caseload of hundreds of students, I think would be really helpful. I also really like the literacy support in elementary school. My mom's a reading teacher, and I hear stories about how students seem to be really struggling with certain things like reading and just simple things in school, especially after the pandemic. I was wondering if any of these like ideas are like kind of idea like I don't know how to word this, I'm sorry. Kind of like fit with the idea to help give support, especially after the effects of the pandemic. Because in like a normal world, pandemic-free world, these things would already be something that they struggle with. And the addition of that and kind of having weird, messed up school years, I think has increased the need for some of these, even in like different grades, like you're in a higher grade, but you kind of have an understanding of things at a like multiple grades lower level. That's just my thoughts. This is really nice. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Megan. I'll just answer your question really quickly. And you kind of answered your question yourself with literacy support, math support, other support. We imagine those needs were actually there before the pandemic. The pandemic might have made them worse, but we see a lot of opportunity there regardless. But maybe how we implement them might be influenced by the pandemic in terms of like delivery methods or just the level of support that could be helpful. But thank you, Megan. Melissa.
Oh, I think, you had your hand raised first. I didn't want to like, okay. I was first again, thank you guys for the presentation. I just had a couple of questions. One of my first questions is, I think I agree with like the majority of these concepts. One of my questions was regarding the middle school category, the idea of after school enrichment. I was kind of wondering too, how that would be carried out, whether that be at school, if it was outside of school. I was thinking a lot about, I think recently I've had the opportunity to go to the Gene Mullen Community Learning Center. I feel like the strength of that program is because they go to the schools to pick up the students. I feel like that has a lot better of a turnout. And so I was wondering how that enrichment would look like in terms of guarding students, but also making it equitable in terms of who can attend it. And kind of seeing that partnership. And then my second question was, I think there was conversation, like if you look in the after school enrichment, the idea of supporting the arts. And I think I remember from our last conversation, a lot of my peers who do attend schools in South City had kind of expressed a desire to have more support or funding for some of the arts programs. And so I was kind of wondering how that kind of played into the picture. And I was interested to see if maybe there was community feedback that related to that.
Thanks, Melissa. So on your first question on after school enrichment, we honestly haven't planned out what this would look like, but I can say that we would ensure it's done equitably and in a way that's accessible. And so if we do choose after school enrichment as something to focus on first, we'd want to make sure to work with actual students, actual families, actual educators to make sure however it's implemented is definitely accessible. And then
Can
on
I
your
just
second
add a
question,
little bit to that?
go ahead, Lauren.
We did speak to some principals, like we're aware of the bus schedules and how that works, and like anything we would choose to do, we would think like, how are kids going to get to it? How are kids going to get home? Like that would be all part of it.
Thanks, Lauren.
Mhm.
And then your second question, one I'm taking as a takeaway, something that you feel might be missing at the high school level is to call out arts more clearly. I think we were thinking that it could be incorporated in college and career pathways as well. If, maybe offering or increasing accessibility of arts classes at the community college, or like understanding the different types of arts and creative types of careers are, like that could be included in there, but maybe we should call it out more clearly that that's kind of part of it.
I think the other aspect too is, especially with arts, is I think for a lot of students, a big part of their high school experience is having the arts program at their high school. So it's also an opportunity for them to find peers, but also to, I think like I agree with the idea of like arts being almost like a long-term career pathway, but I also think that based on conversations that we had, I felt like there was a lot of a need in terms of like resources at the high school level.
Got it.
As opposed to community colleges.
Thank you. I'm not taking notes, but somebody on my team is taking notes, so we did jot that down. Aaron.
I guess personally for me, it's like really hard to choose what to prioritize out of this list, because I feel like there's like specific programs that would benefit very like targeted communities. Like for example, like navigating school systems. I personally didn't even think about that, but like people from like lower income backgrounds or like ESL like families, they would benefit from that a lot. But like, I guess it like depends on what you like, I guess the end goal is, because I don't know, I feel like it's just two very different things to prioritize between that and like promoting more like college and like career like pathways. I don't know. That's just something I'm a little confused about.
Thanks for the question. Overarching, the theme is equity, right? And the theme is being community driven. And so not all of these ideas are meant to like work in a cohesive, like perfect way to drive to any specific outcome, aside from supporting equity and supporting what students and families in the district want. We're also wrestling with the same types of questions that you raised, like, okay, what does this all mean when it comes together? And then we look at ourselves and what we're doing, and that's just something we're going to have to kind of wrestle with over time. And as it takes shape, we're still so early on. Did you have another question or is your hand just still up?
Oh no, I didn't have another question, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was just a little bit confused about that, but thank you for clarifying.
Sure. Ethan?
Hello.
Oh.
I think I have a lot of thoughts. Just right off the bat, I know mental health is like a big thing that a lot of people have been wanting the school district to focus on for many years. And they are, but there's limited resources. But I think the college and career pathways is really important because, like, especially in high school, kids don't really, or students don't really have that many options to actually choose from because there's autos and then there's computer science and like biotech and culinary, but like there's no shop classes or like trade classes. And I know that's been like a big criticism because there isn't enough like variety for students to like choose from. And so they feel like they're just kind of like being pushed to like, oh, I have to go to college or like there's nothing else I can do. And then like also practical knowledge is really important. And I think like health class should probably be like a full year thing rather than one semester. And you can do like other stuff that isn't just health, like teaching kids how to cook basic things or how to like do life skill stuff, which would be important. And I feel like support them more. Can we answer the second or like the like what we've
Feel free.
on here?
If you don't,
I think second language learning in like middle school or even elementary school would be really cool because the district I don't think has that. And like I know a lot of people have like said like, oh, if we learned Spanish in middle school, we would be more prepared to do it in high school or something. I don't know how that would work, but
got it.
yeah, those are just my initial thoughts.
Thanks, Ethan. Any other thoughts or reflections on what we should prioritize? If not, I'll pose the question of if there's anything on here where you're like, whoa, I have no idea why you would do that, or like, this is not a good idea, you should not prioritize this.
I guess my other question is in regards to the plans for like inclusive curriculum. I think that's really important, but I was also wondering kind of if the scope was primarily centered on high school and kind of like how that was like how it's looking also in terms of like classes and whether or not that would be like, I guess the focus would be on the curriculum itself or also like, I think another aspect that we talk a lot about too is how the educator has a role too in being able to like, I'm sure you can have really strong curriculum that can address forgotten history. But I guess the other aspect too is like how would educators also, I think one, have feedback in terms of that process, but if they would also, I think, get additional resources to further their own understanding. Because I'm kind of curious if there was any more thought besides that.
Yeah, it's in the high school category because we heard it from high school students or alumni, but it could apply to all of the grade levels. But I'll mark that as a TBD on what the implementation would look like once we start actually getting into it. And then definitely yes, to your second point on the educators being trained on it, we wouldn't want to provide just a curriculum or a book and then not prepare the educator or have them feel supported in actually delivering that content and facilitating those conversations. So they definitely go hand in hand when it comes to how we would design the program for sure. Danielle.
I think college and career pathways should be prioritized, especially because I feel like our district especially really prioritize people who are going into the biotech field. and like they give them all the scholarships, and like it's really forced upon a lot of us to like go and do biotech. And I feel like people who are going more into the arts and sort of like the opposite of science majors aren't really supported, and it's harder to find scholarships through our schools and like things like that. And also like the military, like all like those like things, like they always come to our school too. And it's just like really discouraging for some students, because I've talked about it with my friends as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Danielle. Well, I do
Was that a pro-military or not? Like that's the only option presented. You wish there was more options.
I just feel like, oh, that's it. I just think that it's sometimes it's like our only options are like go to Genentech or go to like the military.
Right.
I don't think, I also think I feel like they focus more on us just because I feel like we definitely, because if you if you go in the military, don't you get free college? So I feel like that's why they target us, because they know like we have lower class people who obviously like can't pay for college.
To Danielle's point about that, when I was at El Camino, I did think it was a bit odd that there would only be like 1 or maybe 2 job fairs per year. And then like you had the like Marines there like almost every other week tabling. And it was just kind of a bit odd because there would never be people from like the school district or city government saying like, oh, you could work at the library or you could get a job at like a retail store. But it was always like, come join the military and get free college.
Yeah. All right, well, we want to be respectful of your time and your other agenda items. So I'll ask just if there's any other final thoughts or reflections, feel free to share them now, and you all are welcome to reach out to us anytime over email as well. So any final thoughts or reflections?
I think that this is I'm excited to see what you actually choose, and thank you for like coming to talk to us and stuff. And like, I don't know, I think this is very cool.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that I agree with Ethan, but also I'm curious as to like what the next steps are. Are you gonna be like doing more focus groups on seeing like, I guess like amongst like I'd be curious to see like amongst like different like socioeconomic like lines about how like preferences to each of these like different programs would change, and like I don't know how the foundation will like.
Yeah, great question, Erin. You've kind of read our minds, and what's on top of our priority list in the next couple of months is getting more feedback from different kind of student groups and also parent or family groups and educators. And so we'll be reaching out to different student clubs. And as I said, like parent groups that are on affiliated with the schools, and definitely seeking to get different socioeconomic status, different races and ethnicities, different language speakers, everything. And then the difficult part about it is like taking all that information, and then like, you don't want to just do like an average of it, because that kind of gets you in the middle of nowhere, but kind of making sense of it. But if there's anyone in particular you think that we should be talking to, definitely shoot us a note, and we're happy to reach out to them.
I have another comment, sorry. I think it would be I don't know if you're gonna compile like a report or something, but I think I would be very interested to read like the differences or like the priorities of different groups. Like I think it would be really interesting to see like what the parents are saying they would want for their kids, and like what the kids are actually saying, and what the administrators and the teachers are saying. Like I think that would be very interesting, just to see where everyone's priorities are and what they think would be best. But if you're not doing,
I don't know about reports unless one of you wants to volunteer as our data analyst. But it's actually more similar than you might think it is. It's actually been nice to see how aligned all of those different stakeholders have been, particularly like on equity issues. And so it wasn't as hard as we thought to get to this like short list of ideas, because there was so much alignment across the various stakeholders.
well, that's good.
And
Yeah.
before we go, I just want to add that we got our 501c3 designation and we're starting to fundraise and all that. So we're hoping that we'll be able to do some small things by the end of this school year. And hopefully the bigger things will be, in our fundraising push in the fall. So yeah, we're really excited about that.
Congrats.
Thanks.
It's cool.
All right, well, it's nice to see everyone. Hope you stay safe with the never-ending rain and various illnesses going around. So we're gonna hop off your Zoom now. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice night.
You too.
All right. The next item is the discussion of the Mayor's Youth Commission initiative.
Okay, so as a refresher for everyone, last time, maybe it was 2 meetings ago, I talked about how the mayor would like the youth commission to attend other board and commission meetings. And that's really just for you guys to sit in, learn about what's going on, report back to the youth commission and just share your findings and what your thoughts were on that. It's not to say that every single commission has to be represented. We're hoping as a pilot, maybe 2 or 3 of you would have an interest in some of these commissions and would like to attend on those behalfs. Now, you're more than welcome to attend these meetings as they occur live, or you're welcome to also just attend, just to watch the recording and then report back to the group. Are there any questions about that? Any I can clarify? No. Okay. So I think the best way for us to go about this is I will go down the list. You can say which commission that you're interested in, that you're willing to report on. And then if you want to pass, you can just say pass. Does that sound fair? Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the head nods. Okay, so I'm going to start with Chairperson Mizzy. Are you on mute? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Just to clarify, you're asking me what commission I would like to sit, or like I'd like to
Report back on to the group, right?
I'll do the planning commission if no one wants to do the planning commission.
Planning commission, thank
That
you.
one meets the most and I am interested in it.
Beautiful. Okay, and then Vice Chair Hua.
Are we okay? So are we? I have a question.
Yes.
Because I don't want to like pick something and someone's like, I really want to do that one. So is it like we just say our preferences and then you'll be like, or how does that work? Okay.
Yeah, I think if we have more than one person interested, I think if we have 2 of you on there, that's totally fine. Maybe 3 is probably too many, and then we'll ask you guys like flip a coin or something.
Okay. I probably would like Parks and Rec.
Parks and Recreation. Okay.
I'm open if someone's like, I want that. Like I can cover everything else. I'm cool.
Thank you. Secretary Jimenez.
The Equity and Public Safety Commission.
Equity and Public Safety. Thank you. And then Commissioner Adriano.
Also like to sit on the planning, liaison for the planning commission.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, is my mic working? I'm so sorry.
No, it's me.
I think Aaron said
Oh,
Planning Commission.
yeah, planning commission.
Thank you. Great. And then let's do Commissioner Cyrus.
Sorry, did anyone say Cultural Arts Commission?
Not yet. Cultural Arts Commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ho.
Am I also able to do the Cultural Arts Commission too?
Sure. We're just gonna write you guys' preference down. And like I said, I think if we have 2 of you on, that's good, because there might be like one of you guys aren't able to make it, so another person can fill in. But I think if we have more than 3, then we'll ask you guys to flip a coin or something. Okay. Commissioner Mariano. Oh, not here. Commissioner Giancarlo Ray. Commissioner Ray, do you have a preference for a boarding commission?
I don't really have a preference. I'm okay with whatever's left over.
Okay, thank you. No preference. And then can we have Commissioner Sui? What is your preference?
I think someone said this already, but can I do Parks and Rec?
Parks and Recreation. And then Commissioner Yoshida.
My preference is for the library board.
Library Board. Commissioner Miller.
I don't have a preference.
No preference, great. Okay. And then Commissioner Acebas, what is your preference?
I don't have a preference either.
No preference. And then Commissioner Leong, do you have a preference?
My preference is the library commission as well.
Library. Okay, library board. Okay, so just going and looking at the list, I don't think we have 3. We have 2 for the Planning Commission, 2 for Parks and Recreation, 1 for Equity and Public Safety, 2 for Cultural Arts, 1 for Library Board. And then for those of you who had no preference, I think what Mary Jo and I will do, we'll just gloss over the list and then we'll assign 1 to you. And then I will send out the finalized list of who is reporting to what commission. So again, just to recap, you guys are just going to attend these meetings. And if you do want to participate in the public comment, you're more than welcome to. However, just make sure that you disclose that you are a member of the Youth Commission, but you're here as a member of the public and you're expressing your opinion, not the opinion of the Youth Commission. Yes, Ethan.
I would also like to comment. I could also do the BPAC too. I'm more than
Or
happy
BPAC.
to. And if for the people who had no preference, I'm just gonna say this in front of everyone, but like, preferably give them the ones that actually like meet, because I know like I don't think the personnel board is met in like the year or something. Like I don't know. Talk if we could talk to the commissioners, I think that would be good. Because some of them like I don't even think the design review board has met in like a year, but whatever. And also, is there anything specific that the mayor like wants? Because I know she wants us to go to these meetings, listen, participate if we wish, and then come back here and then like say like my commission did this past month, they're doing this, like this is what's happening. But is there anything like overarching that we're trying to accomplish, or like does she want like at the end of the year for us to say something? Or I assume we're going to include this in our like yearly report at the end of the year. But besides that, is there anything we're going to try to accomplish? Like, do these commissions know that this is happening and that?
No, so the commissions haven't explicitly been notified yet. And again, you guys are going as members of the public, not representing the Youth Commission as a whole. Her vision for this was that, so she attended some conference in Sacramento, and when they did their presentation, they had discussed how every element of this presentation or every element of how they planned so-and-so was with youth input. And she really valued that, and she really wants the youth commission, as you guys represent the youth, to be able to voice and elevate and contribute to these plans, ideas, master plans that are coming out, and make sure that we have that youth perspective in there. So I believe that her intention here is, one, so that the youth can be informed about what's going on within each of the commission. Then also, should, when you guys report back, you guys have a strong stance on something, that we can further the discussion on whatever topic interests you guys.
Okay.
So the format of this, like I said, is really you guys go in, if you want to speak at during public comment, you can. If you're just watching the recording, it's just a few bullet points. It doesn't have to be a whole spiel. We will agendize it as part of your meetings, and then we'll go down the line and you guys can report about what's going on, and then we can have room for discussion or additional action that the Youth Commission would like to pursue.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. I think that's it for me.
Does any commissioner have any questions with regards to all that?
I had a question. Where can we find like information on like the meeting details for the different commissions?
Yeah, everything is on the boards and commission website. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat here. You can go on your respective commission, and once you click on there, it'll give you the agenda information and what they're going to discuss, just like your youth commission packets that's sent out to you via email. So there you go. And I think recordings are typically posted like, I think they have to post it within like 3 business days or something to that nature, and usually it's on YouTube.
Then if also, could I ask that the staff of each respective commission be notified that this is like a thing?
Yeah, I can do that.
So that, like, I don't know.
Yeah, let me
So
make
that if there are things that could be explained more,
sure. Yeah,
can be.
I can send an FYI to staff, no problem.
Does anyone have any other questions or comments or something?
Yeah, I have one. Sorry, I should have asked this sooner, but is the housing authority or street housing project included in this?
What is it?
Housing authority street housing project, because I saw it on the list.
What's
of
the street
boards,
housing project?
Commissions.
Housing authority,
I think
yes.
that's
I
the
don't know
public
if
housing.
Yeah, what do you mean the what project are you talking about?
It's labeled street housing project because when I look at the board's commission list on the city website, that's one that pops up, and I was just curious.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, so okay, that's labeled really weird. So the housing authority, so in C Street over kind of by Orange Park and South City High School, there's that, like, it's kind of like a loop cul-de-sac-y thing. But so all those buildings are managed by the housing authority. So the housing authority like just discusses that area. So yeah, that is included if you want to do that one. It's actually pretty interesting.
If you guys need someone there, I'd be interested in doing that. Yeah. Thank you for the clarification and everything.
Yeah. Sorry, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's what you're talking about. It's labeled really weird on the website. Because people always think that the housing authority oversees like building new housing when it actually just oversees that property.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Commissioner Cyrus would like to change from Cultural Arts Commission to Housing Authority, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
If there are no other comments or questions, we're going to move on. But if you later have a comment or question, feel free to ask me or staff. And once everyone who like had no preferences thing is decided, hopefully you all get reminded or put it in your calendar because they all meet on regular days, but I'll like try to remind you or something. So moving on to discussion on Youth in Government Day.
Yeah, so basically, we are still in discussion about whether or not Youth in Government Day will occur in 2023. But should it do occur, we would like to hear from the Youth Commission on what kind of things you think would be appropriate to incorporate in 2023's edition. A lot of you are graduates from this great program, and I'm sure you guys have some opinions and feedback that you can give to us. What worked really well? What didn't work so well? What would you like to see more of? And what would you like to see less of? We're very interested to hear from all of you. And should we move forward with plans for 2023's Youth in Government Day, if this commission was interested in helping to plan Youth in Government Day, like maybe you create an ad hoc committee, staff would be more than happy to meet with you and hear what you would like to see. So I'll open it up.
Would there be any reason that Youth in Government Day wouldn't happen this year?
Yeah, that's what I was.
I don't think so. I believe that the city is in full support of it. I think at this time, it's just a matter of, do we have enough time to work with the school district and pull everything together in one space? Maybe, you guys' youth town hall was so amazing and popping. You guys just want to focus on that instead. We need to have further the conversation between the city and the school district before we begin any plans.
I am going to speak for myself. But if anyone would like to comment, because I don't think it happened in 2020. So I think yeah, so I think Aaron and I are the only two people who've actually done it. Monique did, but she is not here anymore. That's right. So yeah, I guess it's just Aaron and I. I am probably going to write a resolution for next meeting to ask the city to do it, and I'm probably going to send an email to every city council member urging them to do Youth in Government Day, because I think the city needs to focus on it because it hasn't been done in a few years. And I think the commission should, and I think many commissioners would support us doing something and focusing a lot of our time in future meetings on developing the program. But I think Youth in Government Day should be prioritized over like any other youth commission business, frankly.
I agree. I had a question. So who is the main person in charge of like planning like the logistics of Youth in Government Day? Because maybe like we could like work directly with them.
Surprise, it's me.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, yes. I think we should definitely work on it then.
Okay.
That's like when
That makes
someone's
things
like,
so
can I speak to
easy.
your manager? And they're like, oh, let me go get them. Oh, I'm the manager.
Yeah, surprise, it's me.
Yeah, no, maybe because we're planning for spring 2024.
3.
2020.
Or this coming spring. I don't know. I feel like it's so hard because there's just so many ways that like that has to do with like completely the restructuring and like gutting the program, because like I feel like we've been always talking about how like there's just like some core things that are just like just did not work with the program. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it'd be cool if like the youth commission could have a role in just like reshaping it or just like re-envisioning it.
I think if this, since you're putting it all together, I think if you would like to meet with Aaron and myself and any other commissioner who wants to give their input, since they, like a lot of them are seniors and would probably participate or want to participate, I would be much more than happy to like chat with you about like how we did it in the past, like what we didn't like, and like I'd like to see what other people have to say and like what they think they would like. And then also like, yeah, or like if that works for you, like I don't
We could just like return
you
back
want
to
us
the
to help
general
you,
commission and like give an update.
and I know it's like crazy because they haven't done it in a few years, and I know Sherry, who did it in 2019 before she left the city to work somewhere else, she was like, this was crazy to organize and it was very daunting and I didn't have a lot of support, and so I hope this commission can support you in however we can.
Yeah, thank you. I think okay, so I will say is like Sherry did leave some like very detailed files about what Youth in Government Day was going to look like in 2020. So I saw that she'd already planned it in 2020, but then pandemic, COVID, blah 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 blah. And I also spoke to some Parks and Recreation staff who planned it years before. And from what I've heard from other people was that Youth in Government Day is like life altering, super, super cool, opens your eyes to a lot of great things. So I'd hate to like scratch away all the good things about Youth in Government Day, but I do want to hear like, what did you love the most about it? And just like what things just like really didn't work out. Like I heard one year, like the guest speaker like didn't show up and it was like a mess. And maybe the food wasn't so great. I mean, what kind of things do you wish was different? And then for those of you who weren't or did not have the opportunity to participate in Youth in Government Day, what do you, when you hear Youth in Government Day, what kind of things do you think about? What do you think that you want to get out of that? When you hear the word government, what does that mean to you? And like, I really want to make sure that, because it's been gone for so many years, this is the opportunity to revamp it, right? Like we don't have anything to compare it to last year. So if there's something that there's a strong interest in, I really do want to try to accommodate for it. But yeah, it is a lot of work, I've heard.
So do you want to talk about that all like now? Like, I'd be more than
Up to
happy.
you.
talk about
It's
it
up to
now.
the commission.
Does the commission want to discuss this like for a bit now, and then Mary Jo and Tamiko and like whoever else wants to continue this discussion can do that at a later date and like further discuss it, or do you want to just not talk about it? I would like to talk about it, but I would like some vague consensus.
I mean, we could talk about it.
Okay, thank you, one person, for saying something. Thank you, Ingrid. Okay, so my initial thoughts for what I think, I personally don't think there was a lot that didn't go well. I think it, okay, that's a lie. What personally didn't go well for Aaron and myself, definitely myself, because I think Aaron actually had a more fun day that day. Because Aaron was hanging out with like the planning people doing cool things. And I like, because I was one of the city council people, we got stuck with like random city manager people. Like, I think Leslie and Marie were kind of just like managing us, and we were like put in a room. It was actually next to your office, Tamiko, that like little room. And we like, they were just like, okay, make a calendar of things you would like to see the city do. And they just kind of left us there to do it. And it felt like there was no structure. And we mostly just spent the time like talking, like the South City people and El Camino people being like, oh, you go to South City. Wow, you're like a real person and not scary. We're just the same. Isn't this building really cute? And so we like didn't like that. It was fine, but it wasn't like structured. But that was only about like a 2-hour period.
I think I was there for that,
You might have.
which doesn't even make sense because I was with the planning department.
I don't know. I think because if you're a city council person, and even if you have a staff member, there's this city council meeting you go to and you sit next to your person. And so if you're on the city council, you're sitting next to them on the dais. If you're the city manager, you're sitting next to the city manager. If you're the like water treatment guy, you're next to the water treatment person in the audience. And then you're kind of just there and you're just observing, and they're just kind of like, okay, you're gonna watch and not say anything, and then we'll talk about it later. And then in 2 days, you conduct a mock city council meeting, and there's no one there to explain how you actually run a meeting, because no one, like, we're in high school and no one knows how public meetings work. And I feel like there should be the first one that like you're there just observing, and then maybe a second mock meeting, or like a first mock meeting where they're like, this is how a meeting works. This is what a meeting is. This is the dynamic of a meeting, blah, blah, blah. And then there should be a set, like an actual mock meeting where you're like doing it, where you're not super confused. As for the food was fine. I remember it being very like so good that I don't remember it, you know, like it wasn't bad. If it was bad, I would have remembered. Our speaker was Kevin Mullen when he was not our congressman. I feel like he can be very easy to get still. And that was cool. Like that whole bit was cool. I don't know. I think it should just be like maybe longer, like maybe an extra day. But yeah. And I think something that was crucial that didn't happen is somebody from the city and this commission probably, like I think it would be cool if we went, but like should go into the class, like the government classrooms, like all of them, no matter if they're participating or not in the program, and probably before the students actually sign up to participate. I think it would be very cool if they just went in, talked for like half the period, like explaining this is what the city government does. This is who we are. This is the services we provide. Here's this program we're planning on doing. You sign up if you would like. If you have any questions, contact us, blah, 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 blah. Because when it was offered in the past, it was just like, okay, AP Gov kids, if you want to do this thing, sign up for it. It was not offered to the regular Gov kids, and it wasn't very explained much other than this is a cool thing you should do. And kids don't really know anything about city government anyways. Frankly, most people don't. Yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm going to stop talking.
Thank you.
Okay, can I go? I'll just go on a quick little like rant. Okay, so my big issue with the program is that was mostly with staff because it was just so well, not like that. My issue was that it was just like completely like it was not consistent in regards to like your experience with like youth and government day. Like Ethan like did youth and government day. Yeah, I did youth and government day, but I feel like my experience is just completely different from his.
I sorry to interrupt you, but I forgot why you hated youth and government day, and I just
No,
remembered
yeah, I just got like the most.
Aaron did not get a good person.
I did
He's no
not.
longer with the city, but
He no longer works with the city, which like makes sense now. But like, what I was gonna say is, I feel like my big issue was that I feel like it was just there's not really much consistency. It's like, yeah, we met in the morning and like it's well, for those who didn't do youth and government day, it's a full day process. Like you missed a day of school for it, where you convene in the morning and you meet the person you're paired with. And then from then on, like you have like different checkpoints, like you'll meet again at lunch, like where you see everyone, and like you'll meet at the end with the speaker. But like in between those, it's really just up to the person that you're paired with to like make sure that you have something to do. And like some people had a really rewarding experience where the person that they shadowed like had something planned for them, versus like some people is just so willy-nilly. It's like, why am I making a calendar for like 1 hour, you know? So I think it was just like, I guess my recommendation is just like, like I love the idea of shadowing like different departments because it kind of goes into like knowing what careers are out there, especially city government. But just like making sure that the staff who sign up for it like are aware of like the commitments that they're signing up for, because I felt like some stuff did not know. And yeah, I just thought it was just weird with the advertising of it. Well, like I wasn't in AP government, yet I never heard about this. I heard about it through Ethan because they were only advertising it to AP Gov students and not like regular like Gov students, which I thought was kind of strange. And yeah, I thought also like with the different like shadowing roles, it resulted in like a really weird mock city council meeting where like for example, Ethan shadowed a city council member, so he was the acting city council member. But since I was like with the planning department, I was to give a public comment. I was like that was my role. Like I was a public commenter. I was like, this is kind of strange. So yeah, I don't know if that made sense, but
there's a lot
that's
of
my
things
tangent.
with that mock meeting that can be improved with just some more planning and time,
Okay.
which we can get into offline because it's like weird and specific.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good, like preliminary feedback. So I'm just gonna, what I heard in a general sense is that there needs to be better advertisement for the program, better understanding of what it is these students are going to receive for investing their time into this. And in contrast with that is that it sounds like the components from Youth and Government Day, the mock city council meeting, the shadowing, the staff report, the project, they're good components to have. It's just that it needs to be better executed and with more structure. And there needs to be better accountability and relationship building between the staff and the student. Is that accurate? Okay, then I look forward to meeting with you guys more in detail to discuss this more.
I would really, while we're here,
Yeah.
I would like to hear from particularly seniors, but anyone on the commission, if they have thoughts of what they would like to see, given what you have kind of vaguely known and what Aaron and I just said. Is there anything that you would like this year's program to do? Megan?
Yeah, so I know like nothing about like the Youth and Government Day. I do know because my mom went to El Camino too. She got like this sign with her name on it because she was with like some, I don't even know what, but like a street sign with her name on it. So I think like some kind of memento from the thing, like maybe we even just like a sticker or something would be like a fun way to remember and maybe also promote Youth and Government Day to other years, like later classes and stuff like that. Also, this sounds so exciting.
I think what we got Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, we got the little city pin where it's like the key to the city at the end, and then we got a certificate that we like went to the school board meeting to sign, and we took a picture with like John Baker or whatever. But before it started, you get a folder, and it's like official and embossed, and then you get like stickers and stuff and like things.
We got a bumper sticker.
It was cool. Yeah, we got a bumper sticker, which is cool, but I think added memento. I think merch. Kids like merch these days.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
like the custom sticker idea.
Yeah, and if it could be more like youth orient, like I don't know, like a fanny pack or like whatever. No, that was popular like 5 years ago. I don't know what's popular now. Maybe we can figure that out also. If you have merch ideas, please give that to Miko. Tote bags. Yeah, the kids like tote bags. Aaron started the tote bag craze early. Megan, I'm gonna buy you a fanny pack. Okay, well, I think this was good. Is there anyone besides Megan who has a comment? I can pick on names. Oh my God, thank you, Melissa.
First, it actually sounds like a really good idea. I'm kind of bummed that I never went to South City High School, but oh, I get a caveat. Oh my God.
Yeah, there is precedent for non-South San Francisco Unified students to participate in the program, because when Kevin Mullen went to high school, because his dad was the mayor and a teacher at South City High, he participated. But I think it's like up to your teachers at your school to let you leave school, but you are allowed to participate if you wish.
Okay, built different. All right. Anyways, thanks for the caveat. And I think, yeah, you guys both gave really good descriptive details and very captivating recounts of your experiences. So I think I have like a decent idea. I think one aspect that would be interesting to, and I'm not sure if this is kind of a part of your experience, but also I think something that's especially captivating now in terms of how you interact with government is like, how do you pass legislation and how do you write legislation? I'm not sure if that was covered for you in your youth government day, but for example, like I ran a camp and we had like middle schoolers write legislation on like how to ban broccoli, and like I'm just saying, I feel like it would be fun. They had a lot of fun and they ended up like debating it out, and I was like, I've never seen like middle schoolers like this passionate. And so probably not to that scale, but also giving opportunities. And like, I guess if you're talking about youth in government, I think like, yes, it's important to like look into the future and like what is a career in government, but also there's an aspect of like, what can a youth do in government as a youth? That's like another aspect that I think would be interesting to touch on. And I think Ethan talked about like where the youth commission can have a role, and that's kind of another like maybe you have, I don't know, was for you guys, was it like one main speaker and then that's it?
So you do the thing, you do like the 2 days of shadowing, and then you have the mock meet, and then you have the first meeting that's weird, and then you have the mock meeting, and then after the mock meeting, or it might be the next day, there's a lunch, and then at said lunch there is a speaker. I think we just had the one speaker. I mean, I assume like a city council member also spoke. I don't really remember. I think they all give remarks, and there's like one big speaker who's like the big like guest person. But I mean, it can be whatever the speakers. But
I feel like if you can't secure, or like even if there is one main speaker, it would also be good to have mini speakers like dispersed throughout the day. Or like, I don't know, I'm bad at logistics. That's not my thing. Kind of struggle with that. But it would be interesting too, because I feel like kind of like how Ethan was talking about the youth commission, but also there's a lot of really good work that's happening outside of just like that one speaker that could be interesting to touch on. Anyways, I'm done talking.
Daniela?
I just wanted to say, so like somebody who doesn't go to school in the South San Francisco school district, I feel like something that could be approved, like I have friends that go to school at South City and El Camino, which is why I know about this, but I just feel like I think maybe like better advertisement and like reaching out to like seniors just like all over the city, not just those that go. And like I know it's like prioritized for those in the school district, but like me myself, I didn't know that I could participate. And I feel like making sure that like everyone gets that information, and so that maybe more people could attend or like bring a bigger crowd to it. I think that was all.
Yeah, I don't know the logistics on that, but if I like, because the city can advertise on the website and like the library and stuff, but I think it would be hard to like contact like other schools. Like I think like I'm sure there's a way to do it, but if there is a way to do it, I hope it can be done.
I mean, there's varied methods. I think we could talk about it later, but I do have connections if you guys are interested on like, okay, I'll just stop. But I mean, it is interesting, but I also think just given the program, I feel like a lot of it could be good as word of mouth. So, but there's like formal things. I think as someone like kind of, because Danielle and I go outside, there's kind of like mini places to contact. Anyways, I'm good. We're done.
Okay. So I guess we'll plan a date to meet with Tomiko. Once we have that date, probably, which hopefully will like be after school, so you can either, if we do it in person, you can come, or if we do it over Zoom, we'll send a link, but we'll let everyone know. And also if after this you have thoughts, let us know. But Tomiko, is that everything you need from this?
Yeah, I think that's good. The next step is for me to elevate this to our city manager and let them know, like, okay, youth commission is totally on board. We should support this. This is the feedback that I got. How do we move forward? And then once I get direction from city manager, I will come back to the youth commission and ask, schedule a time and really get into the nitty gritty of all this.
Okay. I believe the next item is items from staff.
Oh yeah, me again. Okay, so a couple things. One is please, if you haven't already, please send in the forms for your stipend. You guys do get paid for coming to these meetings. I'm sure you guys would like to get paid, so please submit all your paperwork so we can get you your stipends. And then most of you, I think like almost every one of you, except like 2 of you, have already consented to having our text message reminders for our meetings. I'm really excited to get that kicked off and ready to go. So if you haven't already, please do email Mary Jo and I a confirmation that just says that you consent to getting text message meeting reminders from us, and then we'll go ahead and get that started. And the last thing that I have on here is I just wanted to recap really quickly for those of you who couldn't join us for the Youth Commission bonding event. Some of you guys were in school, some of you guys were sick, so I just want to show you guys some of the cute things that happened. So we did have a gingerbread making house competition. They were pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. We had we ranked them first place, second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place. Some pictures of you guys, and we had La Tapatia and Boba for food, and it was great. I got to see, I've never seen some of you like in real life, so it was totally cool to see you guys like in the flesh. And I was really happy, and I hope that you guys had a good time, and should we have a future one, I'd love to see more of you guys there. We didn't get to the board games. We I don't know, we started talking, did an icebreaker, went into the gingerbread making, had lunch. Next thing you know, it was time for you guys to go on your tour at the South San Francisco History Room, which lasted almost about 40 minutes with the library staff. So, and that's how we ended it. And that's all we have.
Thank you. I am very sad I could not go. I'm very sad I did not see the history room. And I love gingerbread, and that was a big loss for me, but next year we'll see. Okay. That's all from staff. I had a few comment thingies to say just to the commissioners, but also please send in your text message consent thingy, and if staff can like bug the people who haven't done that, please bug. But so new things have happened to the city since we have last met, some of which you may or may not know about. But so we have a new mayor. The mayorship is now under Flor Nicholas. The vice mayor is once again Mark Nogales because of like a rotational technicality thingy. He's now the vice mayor again. So he's most likely going to be the mayor next year. But so Flor is the mayor for the year. And so the city will be kind of like following what the mayor wants. We don't have any new city council members. They're all the same. There is a new city manager, well, acting. Mike Futrell has resigned and he is now the city manager of the city of Riverside down in Southern California. You hopefully saw that email. So Sharon Rannells is the acting city manager for the time being while the city council looks for a new city manager. I'm sure there will be details in the coming time, but if you see Sharon, talk to Sharon, or like just want to be like, hey, Sharon, congrats on the temporary promotion, or like talk to her about it. I don't know, she loves talking. I love Sharon. Go talk to Sharon and say hi to Marie and Tamiko and all the city staff people if you're in Grand Avenue. There's also a new school board member. It is Amanda Anthony, who has replaced John Baker. John Baker is no longer on the school board. He's now a regular person. And Amanda Anthony, who I don't think she works for / I think runs the community or the job train thingy on the Economic Advancement Center. She works there, but she is now on the school board. She won her election. She's very cool. Maybe we can get her to talk because I think all the school board members have spoken before the commission at least once. So maybe we can get her to come if the commission would like. We also have a new congressman. Kevin Mullen is now our congressman. And Diane Pappin has taken over his assembly seat because Jackie Spear resigned, or well, Jackie Spear did not seek re-election. But that's all the new stuff in the city that I just thought you should all know. That's all I had to say. I don't know if anyone has any like things they want to comment on or like items. I hope all of the seniors got their college app stuff in on time. I know I struggled with that. Are we all back in school, or there are some of us who like or go back next week or something? Next week. Ingrid says next week. Yeah, we're next week. Aaron just started today. I think the South City School District people started last week. Please be okay this semester. Balance everything properly, like with your mental health and your work and life and friends and school. If you ever need anyone to talk to, I or the good people on this commission, I'm sure would be more than happy to support you. I don't know. Happy New Year to everybody. Does anyone have anything else to say before I conclude the meeting? I don't think anyone does. So Melissa's gingerbread house was the best one, TBH. Congrats, Melissa.
Mine was the crying one. You can just like pull it up. I was done with the gingerbread. I was like, this is not cooperating with me. But thank you.
I did actually have a substantive thing to say, but this was a comment to staff. But since I believe we should be doing the Youth Poet Laureate again this year, we should also have that in the back of our minds, because I forgot until like I saw an email about like, oh, the Youth Poet Laureate is ending her term this year. And I'm like, oh, we need another one. But yeah, because I forgot that. But yeah, so we meet again in a month. I'm going to conclude this meeting. Happy New Year, everybody. Fix your sleep schedule before school starts.